to be showing you how to sort beans and what you're going to be looking for. When you sort beans, you want to grab a bowl, put it at the edge like this, and make sure you don't get any rocks. Like, here's a rock, here's another rock, and you also don't want to get bad beans like that. So here's a pile of bad stuff in the beans. But so you go through like this, looking through, pull, swipe, pull, look, swipe. All these are good. Do that bucket. I'll be back to you in a second.
So now what we're going to do is rinse the beans, because they do grow so close to the ground when they're harvested. They do get dusty and rocks, and so you always want to wash them. And so what I usually do is put them in a colander like this. Makes it a lot easier. And then rinse them pretty well. And we'll be right back while she finishes that up. So now what we do is take the beans, the dried beans that are now rinsed thoroughly. And I cook the beans in my pressure cooker. If you want to just do them on the stove, usually you soak them in water. So you put the beans in a bowl or a pot and put double the water as the amount of beans. So you want them fully covered and twice as much water as there are beans, because they do swell as they soak, and you soak them overnight for about 12 hours at least. And then you can cook them, and it takes pretty much all day. In a pressure cooker, I can do beans in like 2 hours and they're done, as opposed to, you know, like a 16-hour process. So she's going to put the beans in the pot. And then we will cover them with water. Just this way, honey.
Hot water?
No, cold water. And we'll do the same thing like if you were to soak them the night before. You want to make sure that you cover them at least with twice the amount of water as there are beans. I usually fill the water up to the line. I make quite a bit because I like to have extra to freeze or use throughout the week. You do want to be careful if you have an older style pressure cooker with the little button on the top. So you kind of want to stir up your beans and just make sure that any skin, okay, and let it settle. And just any of these floating ones or any floating skin, you want to take those out because they could plug up your pressure cooker. And that could be disastrous. I have a newer style pressure cooker, so it doesn't have that issue, so I'm not so worried about it. But and then set them over here, and we'll add some spices to it.
Just dragging off the bottom. What spices do we put in it?
I usually add salt. Quite a bit of salt, like a tablespoon or so. And that's good. Garlic powder. Yes.
So garlic powder.
Yes. And just a few dashes.
Yes, that's a few.
About that much. And a little bit of pepper. I don't really season the water itself too much because I will season them more when I actually cook the beans. When I refry them, a little bit more. Okay, now get a big plastic spoon. And just stir them up a little bit. Kind of dissolve that.
It feels weird because it's not hard. Because I'm used to stirring the batter of cake and stuff.
Because it's very liquidy.
It feels so weird. Hi, Calypso. Hi, baby. You wake up?
Okay, now let's go ahead and put insert into the pressure cooker.
A new doggy. Ouch. I spit it out.
All right, and then we will cook this in the pressure cooker under the. It has a beans and lentils setting on number 8 on our pressure cooker. So we'll just go ahead and set it to that.
Do we need the lid?
Again, if you're going to cook these where you soak them overnight and then cook them the day before, you can either cook them in a slow cooker all day once they're soaked, or on the stove. On the stove, it might take a couple hours, and you want to probably cook them on about medium until they're soft. And that's it. And then once they're done, which takes a couple hours, then we will show you how to refry them in another video.
Yeah. And our next video, we're going to be making tortillas
To go with our
to go with our beans.
yummy.